Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be showing you a game that I used to play quite a lot as a child. Now this game was released on the Sega Master System. This game is Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos. Now this game has a pretty standard storyline as far as 1990s platformers go. Dr. Robotnik, some evil guy, basically was after the Chaos Emerald Crystal, which ironically is red. And this basically was so that he could make nuclear weapons and so on and so forth. Now, Sonic and Tails were basically on an aimless adventure such as this one. This is a game in auto mode. And they were actually troubled when they heard a rumour saying that Dr. Eggman, whoever he is, had returned to the South Island. Again, I wasn't really that much aware that he'd left, but I'm not the biggest Sonic fan in the world. He had stolen the Red Chaos Emerald, throwing the others off balance. And I think you can kind of guess what these two guys' missions are. They've got to try and go and collect these emeralds, and then in the final zone fight Dr. Robotnik to get the Red Chaos Emerald back. Now, this game was released in 1993. So it was basically the last 8-bit game, Sonic game, that was actually released. And a lot of people just, well, after having played Sonic on the Mega Drive, it was said that a lot of people might not like the 8-bitness of this game. The graphics, the sound, the speed, everything would being a wee bit rough. But this is the first 8-bit Sonic game where you can actually play as Tails. Now, as Tails, you can't actually go on the bonus rounds, but you can fly. So, let's play as him to start off with. Turquoise Hill Zone 1. So this is basically standard Sonic, and this is Tails flying, by the way. You can achieve flying by pressing up and either A or B. Now Tails is considered an easy mode because you still kind of get the red crystal at the end, although during completion of the game that's not really shown. You only see the red crystal if you play as Sonic. And if you play as Sonic, getting 100 crystals will actually take you to a bonus round where you basically, if you complete this bonus round, you actually get the red crystal. Well, you actually get each different coloured crystal. So, if I restart the game, I'll play as Sonic. I'm not too keen on the later versions of Sonic because, well, it seems that you play as all... Well, you control one character and then you've got Tails and Knuckles following. And it's like, I don't know, I mean, for me it's just a wee bit confusing, Why can't you just have, like, the one character at the same time? This probably has got to be, in my opinion, my favourite Sonic. Oh yeah, you get these rocket boots if you're Sonic. But you don't get them as Tails. Probably because he doesn't necessarily need rocket boots to fly, and he can fly anytime he likes. To be honest, I mean, while the rocket boots are undoubtedly useful, for example, it can lead you into trouble as they are very, very quick. Now, this is the first 8-bit Sonic game where they can do this. I must admit I do like that move because it does make it a lot easier to get yourself around wee loops. And these things, I've never quite understood what they are. I don't know it. It basically just looks like a fat man riding a bicycle. They can kill you if you get too far. That's just annoying. That is even more annoying. Now you, fat man on a bike. And what's that black thing? It looks like a radio-controlled aeroplane of death. Which is basically what it is, because you guessed it, it can harm or kill you. And of course, if you're harmed, you lose all your rings, which basically if you lose all your rings, you have to go and retrieve them again, otherwise you don't get to do the special stage, which basically means you don't get to collect the crystal. Now obviously if you don't collect the crystal, then it will spit you back out to the next act, zone, whatever you want to call it. And, well, basically, you know, if you collect 100 rings in that zone, you get to try the unfinished special stage again. Boing. These look like TVs. Yeah, what is that thing? Looks like the aeroplane of doom. What? Who built that? British Leyland? Ah, yes, this is the invincibility thing. For a time you're invincible to even fat men on bikes. But it doesn't really last that long. Now, because of the emulation, the music is running faster than it would if I was playing it on a Master System. Okay, so if you do earn 100 rings, you get transported to a bonus round. So, in these rounds you do have limited amounts of time to try and make it to the end. And sometimes, you might even get prizes, like stupid amounts of rings. Oh, by the way, FYI, the big rings equal 10 regular rings. So try and get as many of those as you can, and you might even get a wee free life. In fact, you do. There's no maybe about it, and that's what happens. Get used to it. These obviously do get progressively harder, and to be honest, I'm no good. And look, I've got the blue emerald. And then you hear some poke. That sort of music sounds like it should come out of Pokemon, not Sonic the Hedgehog. And then, as you can see, there's a lot more points. Also, if you play as Tails, you do get more continues and more lives to be going on with. So it is actually quite an easy... Well, playing as Tails on this game is considered an easy mode. Before I wrap up this game review, I thought I would show you a Zone 3. Now, all the Sonic games of this era for the Master System and the Mega Drive would follow this sort of format. You'd have 3 zones of a level, with Zone 3 being shorter but being a boss round. Now, the best way to tackle these, I always find, is to basically scour it. Scour the boss rounds. Oh, and by the way, these blocks, you'll find blocks in certain levels, not the longer ones, but the ones which are perfectly square. Generally, you'll find if you do a wee spin dash, you can break them. Scour the levels for rings, because if you have rings, when you die, well, when you get harmed, you'll actually be able to, well, it basically knocks the rings away, and the more you have, the more that'll be knocked away. Obviously, if you have 99 rings, you won't have the screen filled with 99 rings, you probably have about 20 or so. Try and collect all those so that when you get harmed again, you don't actually die. Obviously, you've got to try and kill the boss, and don't risk your life trying to collect used rings. So if I advance, the music changes, and you're provided with a boss. In this case, it's an even fatter guy on an even bigger bike. Actually, it looks more like a robotic caterpillar does this one. Each boss has a weak spot, and usually when you kill him, for some reason it bursts into flame, probably because it's all robotic. If you play as Tails, that says Tails has passed. And it kind of sounds like a country guy talking about some sort of myth. Tails has passed about this place. And then, of course, you end up in a new zone. And I remember once saying to my foster sister, she was killing the boss on Turquoise Hill Zone, and I just had to, well, I had to go and deal with something, and I said, right, when I get back I want to see black screens. And I thought she thought I was being vindictive and wanted her to die. Oh, by the way, why do these look like TV screens? Yeah, she thought I was being vindictive and wanted her to die, when actually, when I was saying black screens, I was actually referring to this level, because, well, it looks like it's played in a great big metropolis at night time. Hence the black screens. There are 6 zones in Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos. There's Turquoise Hill, Gigalopolis, or Gigalopicus, or whatever you call it, this zone. Sleeping Egg. You've got Maca Green Hill, Aqua something or other, and then you have the final zone, which is Electric Egg. Anyway, with the completion of that level, quite mediocre completion of that level, I'm going to wrap up this review. I hope you have enjoyed watching this, and I hope you'll tune in again for more of my videos. Please subscribe to do so. Go to www.youtube.com/videosonfrontier. The address will be given out in the credit sequence, which is coming up now. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you all back here soon.